Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. How is everyone's day going? Uh, we're here live here at Peabody Magnet High School, home of the Warhorses. Today, our guest is, man, I want to say this with the utmost respect. Today, our guest is, he's now a nationwide legend after all the events that have been going on over the last couple of months with him. He's going to soon be in the Naismith Hall of Fame, as well as this year. He finished the season with another. I think it goes and another one, um, a state championship. Please welcome Peabody Warhorses boys basketball head coach Charles Smith. Welcome, coach.
Thank you so much. It's always good to be with you.
Man,
Always.
you know, this just really melts my heart, man, because over my journey in doing this, and I always want to, I always want to recognize you for this, Coach Smith. Since we met, uh, I think this year's season made 7 years ago.
Right.
We met in Lake Charles at
That's
the
correct.
showdown at the lake.
That's correct.
And ever since then, you've always, like in season or out, you've always called me, and your first line is always, "Hey, son, how you doing?" and man, that melts my heart that someone who's accomplished all that you've accomplished thinks of me in that manner.
Right.
I don't want to ever be dismissive of your time. So again, thank you for how you treated me over the last 7 years.
Thank you for having me, and it's always good to be a part of your program.
Thank you. So, man, I want to get started by putting a diagram up. I hope I get the right one first. Uh, Let me look at the right one. Let's see. Uh, what we're starting with, if you can look at the device here.
Right.
On screen, the world is seeing Peabody Magnet High School 2024 state champions. You guys defeated an always tough and always well coached Madison Prep Chargers team, coached by uh, legendary coach Jeff Jones,
Right.
who we both respect and admire.
Correct.
Uh, Man, my first question, because I thought about what was going on, and I'm saying one decade, 2 decades, 3 decades, 4 decades
Right.
of different generations of kids that you've coached. How have you been able to just keep up with the ever-changing times of high school basketball and still not miss a beat?
Well, one thing, and that's a very good question. You're correct. Over a 40-year career, you're right. There have been a change in the students. There's been a change in the athletes, and there's been a change in the parents. But I've been able to be consistent with my philosophy. And my philosophy, number one, is discipline. Trying to teach the child, number one. And then number two, to work extremely hard on the basketball court with the fundamentals. And when you do that, the kids feel good about themselves on and off the basketball court. So I would say that's been the key to my success is, working with the child, trying to understand where he's coming from.
Right.
And then number two, getting to know the parents. And then number three, working hard on the fundamentals of basketball. And when you put all that stuff together, you're going to have good teams.
Well, you've definitely done that. As I look around your beautiful gym, and again, as I stated the last time I was here when we chatted it up, chopped it up, man.
Right,
When I'm looking on at this video, it's just a beautiful emerald green tent
right.
that fills the gym in one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, three, six, nine, 10. I think I've asked this question before, but somebody may have not seen the last interview.
Right.
How different is was winning the emotion of winning number 10 as it was with number one?
Well, both were thrills in different aspects. Winning the first one, that was really letting me know that I was going in the right direction. And then also through the hard work, time, and dedication, the young men began to understand that it takes this in order to win a state championship. Had I not won that first state championship, we probably have still been stumbling in the dark. But because we did win, the kid bought into what we were doing, which is hard work. And it takes hard work to accomplish anything. So, number one, it was a thrill for me as a coach, knowing that I have taken these young boys and moved them to the ultimate level, which is a state championship. This year, which is number 9 for me as a head coach, 10 total since I've been here. We won one state championship when I was an assistant coach. But this year was very special to me because we took a group of kids that I didn't think we had all the pieces to win a state championship, but they were determined. They got in the gym every day. They worked hard on the fundamentals. Last year, we lost in the semifinals to a great Carver team on free throws. So they dedicated themselves this year to staying 30 minutes to an hour after practice each day to work on free throw shooting. And free throw shooting was the key to us winning the state championship. I got really emotional on the first one because it just made me feel good to win a state championship. And then this year, I got emotional again because because these young men, against all odds,
Right.
accomplished the ultimate goal.
Um, when I went through, and this probably is one of the first. This past season is one of the first seasons that I didn't get to see Peabody play a game. But going back and revisiting and reviewing your schedule, you guys took a tough loss to Ponchatoula, a little bit over halfway in the season.
Correct. That's right.
Then maybe a couple of weeks later, you guys traveled to Monroe,
That's right.
take a tough loss at Wiseman.
Right.
What were the lessons? And those were two of the biggest games you guys
That's
played
correct.
all season.
Correct.
What were the biggest lessons that you were able to teach your kids from those losses?
Right, and it was a third loss to Liberty, and as you said, all three of those teams won state championships. The biggest lesson to my guys is as hard as we worked, and the hours that we still put in. There's always going to be a team better. There's
Right.
always going to be a team better. So from those three games, we took away the point that we've got all the physical aspects of the game down. Now we got to do the mental part, and the middle part is just taking this team, breaking it down, attacking their weaknesses, and playing to our strength. And that's what we did in order to beat the great, Madison Prep team.
Right, but let's stay in this realm of it takes. I think guys went 34-8.
This year,
Yeah, this past season,
34-5.
34-5.
Right.
So that's 39 total games.
Correct.
Um, you have to play 38 of them before you get
Correct.
to number 39.
That's
and,
correct.
and just, the basis, because sometimes, and I talk to a lot of people, and people take that when they see that Peabody, when they see that emerald green color, and sometimes you guys, because of the history of winning here at Peabody, y'all may have sometimes won a game before the ball is even tossed.
Correct.
How much do you try to take away that disadvantage to you as the coach? Because the very game that you think you've automatically won is the one where somebody will sneak through the back door and steal a win. How do you keep those young men motivated from that value?
Well, the main thing here is we built a tradition here at Peabody, and that tradition is that when you play a Peabody team, it's going to be competitive. You're going to play a well coached team. You're going to play a well disciplined team, and I think that's the key, the discipline. And you know that win, lose, or draw, you're going to be in a dogfight. So we've been able to carry on that tradition down through the years. Our first state championship was in 1991. And then I've been able to get guys to come back. My son is my associate head coach. He played basketball for me here at Peabody and also at North Carolina, Charlotte. I've got John Ford, who was on my first 41 and 0 team. And you say first 41 and 0, yes, we had two 41 and 0 teams. John Ford was a point guard on that team, went on down to McNeese State University in Lake Charles and had an outstanding 4-year career. And also I have on board Coach Greg Knox. Greg Knox was on the first state championship team in 1991. And he has a distinction winning a high school championship. He went on to Pensacola Junior College. He won a national championship. And then he returned here to Peabody as an assistant coach. Won, I think, 3 state championships. So, I mean, we just built a tradition here. And the current players and the former players, they respect that tradition.
Right. Looking at your schedule, one game that really stands out to me is the George Carver game. That was the quarterfinal game for you guys this season. They've been tough the last 5 or 6 years. They changed head coaches. I can't remember their head coach name, but he's a really good coach. I got to see them at the Madison Prep tournament this year. Different but similar to what Coach Roche did from a effort and energy perspective. Carver still played at a high level of intensity. What changes did you guys have to make from the film? Because you guys played Carver the previous year in the playoffs.
Right.
And you can't go back and look at that film and say that things are going to be decisively the same because they have a totally different coach. What adjustments did you have to make in preparing for your quarterfinal game?
Well, one good thing about that, Carver,
semifinal.
Yeah, semifinal game. Well, 2 years in a row. Last year's semifinal game, Carver had one of the best players. Because I mean, hey, negated him.
On the court, what was the primary thing that you told your kids the couple of days you had in between when you guys are game planning and prepping to play a Madison Prep?
Well, if you really look at it, if you look at the 3 teams that we lost to, Ponchatoula, Wiseman, and Liberty, those were really same caliber teams as Madison Prep.
Right.
The advantage that Madison Prep had over was size. I mean, they were starting like 6'5", 2 guard, 6'4", point guard, 6'9",
Yes.
center. So, but I felt that we had the advantage when it came to the defensive end of the court.
Right.
We forced them into turnovers. And really, the turnovers was the key to the game because we got a turnover on the end in order for Sewell, to knock down the winning three-pointer. So I thought that was the difference, in the game. Our defense, and we've always been, touted and known for our defense.
Right.
So that really made the difference in the game, saying that Madison Prep had maybe 2 to 3 D1 players.
Right.
I think 2 of those guys signed with Southern University.
Okay.
Right.
Championship. And
Smith Hall of Fame.
when you see that, I it on purpose to see, like I wanted to get a real reaction and emotion because out of all coaches in the world, some and they see a little bit of Alexandria. Hall of Fame. I believe you're inducted into another
national coaches.
Right. When you think graphic is college, you attended Paul Quinn College.
Right. Right.
I can let's see if I can make this work. All right, there we go. On brand. How did that make you feel? Still keep you.
That's correct. Paul Quinn, located in Waco, Texas. Probably the smallest school, but it was a great school. We bonded great, and now they've since moved to Dallas, Texas. Right. They took over the Bishop campus, and we have one of the greatest presidents in the Dr. Sorrell. So he made a special call to me while we was out in Phoenix, Arizona, congratulating me on behalf of the school, Paul Quinn College. And that he told me, say, man, I've been doing everything I can to get Paul Quinn on the national map, and you do it in one day. He said, you got the job done in one day. So he and I had a nice talk, and, he was very supportive, and with him a year, and I get not necessarily the special, but the school recognizes me at homecoming, every year.
You get. I want you to take this. Is you receiving your act, which is the Hall of Fame?
Right.
What was that moment like for you?
That was great. I've always watched the NFL, Hall of Fame, and I think it is, but something special When you in a category with only half those,
Right.
walks around with an orange, with an orange jacket on, uh, symbolizing the Naismith Hall of Fame. So you get kind of emotional there because you're in an elite group of men and women.
Man, take a look at this. Geez, Louise, man.
Yes,
College game day.
That's right. That's right. Final Four.
The the biggest setting, that next step for most high school people.
Correct.
You went in honor of your enshrinement.
That was really unbelievable. We were on ESPN. That was, like you say, college game day, and this was the morning of the Final Four. The atmosphere was great. We were on stage, national TV. I'm following guys like Michael Cooper, Chauncey Billups, Vince Carter, and like I told them, I'm a little old country boy from rural Rapides Parish, in Louisiana. And they say, well, where is that? I say, well, that's about a 3-hour drive from New Orleans. I say, everybody knows about New Orleans.
Right.
But that was a thrill. And I kind of reflected back on my parents, which done an outstanding job raising 7 children in difficult times. My dad was a World War II, fought at the battle. He was a school teacher back.
Right.
So I reflected on me to get to this position. So great knowing that in the national spotlight.
Man, when you look back at almost 50 years, 5 decades.
Correct.
In education,
Correct.
in coaching, in mentoring,
Correct.
and being a father to not just the young men you coach,
Right.
but you're a highly respected man around the Peabody campus. What's your motivation that keeps you going?
Well, the main thing is teaching, to help kids, try to move kids to another level. Most of the kids that I work with and have worked with over the past is kids. So they might, and I've tried to be that guiding light by doing the best I can to put them on a positive note. There's so much negative out there now. Everything they do basically is negative, but I try to show them side of an education. I teach mathematics, been doing that, as you said, for 53 years. And I try to present it in a way that, hey, this is easy. Anyone can learn it. So I try to present it in a way that they can understand it. They understand the reasoning behind it. And then I let them know that you can do this. So I've been successful on that realm. And they've gone on to college, and some of them become engineers, some of them become math teachers. And then the sports aspect of it, I've always told them, you use basketball. Don't let basketball use you. And what I'm saying by that, let basketball take you to another level. I've had over 70 scholarships where these young men have gone on and they have obtained college degrees. One of them is a vice president of a Fortune 500 company in energy in New Orleans. Some of them are mechanical and electrical engineers. Some of them have patents. They've invented different devices. So I've tried to use that basketball and my teaching as a tool to move them to another level.
Right, right. And I don't want to ask you this, but people be wanting to know stuff. How much longer? How much more do you have in your tank?
Well, I tell people iron wears out, but I still enjoy what I'm doing. Every time I stay on the campus here at Peabody High School, I still feel motivated, to come in the building and help kids. And I still enjoy doing that. And it hasn't become work yet. this teaching and coaching I would have done for free, but I got to. But I enjoyed to see these young boys and girls instill in them a vision.
Right. If you could, I need your help some young guys right now. Even you have times to talk to someone,
right?
And that someone may not always walk the halls of Peabody High School.
Right.
When Coach Smith needs to get through a rough patch in his academic day and his coaching day, who does Coach Smith call? and what does that conversation sound like?
Well, to be honest with you, before my mom and dad passed, I used to call them, and my dad, he and I would talk about his experiences in World War II. Mom would always keep me on the straight and narrow. How I was raised, you wasn't raised the way I tried to steer you in this direction. But I just take my quiet time, and really those songs, I just have a little talk with God, and he does. Win, lose, or draw ball games. If I have a hard day at school, which I try not to have, but you're going to have some. And when I say a hard day at school, where I see a kid where I tried to help or try to reach, and I know that I didn't do a good job, I just take my quiet time to myself. I got a room at home. When I go home, I just sit there and just take some time and just meditate on God.
And so when Smith going to the time to just sit, recuperate, does she call and say, "I love you"?
Yeah, that's true. And my wife has been tremendous. This year we've been married 50 years. 50 years, and I applaud that too, because she's had to do a lot of things over 50 years. We've got two kids. I love. My daughter, she works at Southern University, and kid associate. We had to do that while I'm putting the time, and it was a lot of long hours. The all day teaching and almost half the night coaching. So she's been great. And it wasn't for me. She would give encouragement, and like songs, talk. Have we been able to that's the reason
we man. I got the year 24. And, it's a challenge.
It is.
No,
a good example comes in and goes task, because it's hard to follow that has accomplished as much as I've accomplished. I've worked very closely with my son, and I'm trying to get him to build. And he gets older, he's starting to understand that part of all the guys that that have for me have understand the work time and the dedication. It's not about the boss. It's it's about the young men. About the, whoever comes job, you know, uh, that would do the same thing. Do it.
Right.
And doing that, all the other.
It is just absolutely phenomenal that journey you become so intense championships and things. Um, I want to say you are as a man.
No.
So say thank you and giving as much as you see, not just the game of basketball, but the game of.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Appreciate it.
You are an amazing man to me. I love you. I ain't ashamed or afraid to say that.
Thank you.
It doesn't dwindle my masculinity.
It strengthened us, really.
uh,
That's right. It strengthened it.
I always get. I'm a little teary-eyed. I always. It's just certain people, because of the respect that I have for them. I get a little emotional. Y'all, it's okay. But we want to thank Coach Charles Smith. Us. Next, we have a conversation with new head coach. Y'all stay tuned as we're on exposure and exposing the greatness that's called where the greatest amateur athletes in the world call home. Thank you for getting to the game.